बात करने के लिए प्रयत्न करता हूँ, but mostly I'll speak in English. So people in general know that today is Holi, but no one knows that it's today Gaur Purnima. The Acharyas mention in the world there are many people who know Krishna, but no one knows Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is unknown to the world. The day people in general know today is Gauranga Mahaprabhu's appearance day. That's the day the general living entities, all of them will be happy and there won't be any war, there won't be any disturbances in the world. Till then, even if they worship Krishna, it's not sufficient. So we will try to actually see some important aspects of why Lord Chaitanya appeared. What is the reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance? What did he give that no other incarnations really gave? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu क्यों आया? क्या किया यहाँ? पिछले incarnation अवतार लोग क्या क्या नहीं किया है? चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने क्या किया हमको? वो उसके बारे में हम थोड़ा बात करेंगे. I'm really sorry, my Hindi is hopelessly bad. I know there are nice Hindi devotees around, so for their benefit, I'm trying to speak in Hindi a little bit. English is okay. Somebody can translate. Okay, super. Thank you. So you have two contradicting devotees giving me suggestions. Okay, I'll try my best. So if you do a little bit of Hindi translation, thoda time lagega mere ko. I will take a little more time than what is allotted time. Hopefully we don't have breakfast today. So the only breakfast is Harinam. So it is said the nectar can be taken in two ways. One to the mouth, another to the ears. So today only ears till evening. No to the mouth. Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita introduction mentions a very, very important point. He says, all of us, all the devotees who want to go back to Godhead should cover themselves with as many pastimes, hearing as many pastimes of the Lord as possible. We should keep hearing. हम भगवान का क्या क्या लीला है ये सब सुनता ही रहना है. How much ever we cover ourselves with the pastimes of the Lord, these pastimes is what will take you back to Godhead. Because the moment I don't hear the pastimes of the Lord, I will hear something else, which may be Krishna conscious, which may not be Krishna conscious. So that's a very important point Prabhupada mentioned. That is why all the Acharyas have written so many details about the pastimes of the Lord. आचार्य लोग इतना कमेंट्री लिखा है भगवान के बारे में, क्या क्या लीला करता है, क्यों करता है ऐसा, क्योंकि हम सुनने के लिए वो सब लिखा है. Because for them it's not required. They are eternal associates of the Lord. They can easily go back to Krishna. For us, they have written so many scriptures. Now, one of the important aspects that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions is that one should never worship one of the personalities in Panchatattva. You should never worship Gauranga Mahaprabhu separately, or Nityananda Prabhu separately, or Advaita Acharya separately. You should worship Panchatattva together always. Srila Prabhupada one time, many times he's done that, talking to a group of devotees, and they came, all of them came to meet Prabhupada, and all of them had some problem or other. Normally, Prabhupada used to give time in Mayapur in the evening hours to hear what are the problems devotees have. 1 hour for that. Otherwise, he'll talk about Bhagavatam and things like that. So these devotees, all one after another, actually came and said, I have this problem, I have that problem, this is not okay, the management is not okay. They had so many things which came, and I'm not able to hear attentively, I'm feeling sleepy, I'm not able to chant properly, all these things. Prabhupada said, go to Panchatattva and just tell them, sir, I have this problem. They will take care of everything. Prabhupada always said Panchatattva should be worshipped together, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says the same thing. Although these are different appearance days for the Lords, but we should always worship Panchatattva together. So today we will, as I said, we will actually try to hear a little. We all are following Bhakti to some extent, right? Bhakti means understanding the fact that Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarva Karana Karma. That is the basic level. This, all the incarnations came and gave. But what is Lord Chaitanya give that other incarnations did not give? This information is not even available for other sampradayas. Only for Gaudiya sampradayas. We're very fortunate that we're getting this. Anadi Radhir Govinda, Bhagwan Supreme. ऐसा लीला क्या क्या किया है, सभी अवतारी लोग ऐसा बोलता है. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ने थोड़ा ज्यादा किया है. He's given us something more, much more that we can imagine. What is that he's given? So there are some information that is there written by Sripad Chakravarti Pal. Vishnu Chakravarti Pal has given so many wonderful information. So what does he say? This is the first level, that Krishna is the supreme. I am a servant. I am a servant. Sarvadharman Paritejya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. This is a basic expectation for a devotee. But Lord Chaitanya actually has taken these things to the next level. What does he say? There's a pastime which actually comes to my mind. The Acharyas have written, especially Vishnu Chakravarti Pad. He says, in the Ramayana it is mentioned, once Ram and Sita were actually strolling in the Dandakaranya forest. And there was so much pile of bones, like mountain of bones, skulls and everything. It was actually being piled. Ram asked, what is this? And Sita also asked, what is this? So the sages were around. They said, all the asuras, all the rakshasas, they come and kill all the sages and brahmanas, and they eat them, and then they throw away the bones and go, this is the bones. And Ram had actually appeared for protecting dharma. When Ram actually heard this, he became very angry. Right? He is there, he is the dharma rakshak. In spite of that, people are suffering. So Ram took his bow and arrow and said, I am going to destroy every other asura in the creation. No asura can exist. So he became very angry. And he started screaming, saying that, where are these asuras? Come out. And he was holding the bow and arrow, and his eyes became big, red. Sita saw this and said, I somehow don't like this angry mood of yours. The moment actually you touch this bow and arrow, your nature changes. You are a very calm personality. But the moment you touch this bow and arrow, you become so angry that I don't feel comfortable to stay here. So can't you leave without killing? Sita actually asked Ram, and Ram says, okay, Baba, whenever I come as next, I will not use any weapons. Then when he appeared as Krishna, you can see that Krishna also killed demons, but he never used any weapons. Right? He, interestingly, Vishnu Chakravarti actually has written a very nice poem on this, about how Krishna's Ashtakam, basically, how Krishna used each one of his transcendental limb to kill one demon. For example, he used his fist for the horse demon, Keshi. Right? He put his fist inside his mouth and heated it up, and then there's no drop of blood, because all of them are kids, right? They couldn't see blood. So Krishna killed all of them, not a drop of blood fell. But he killed each one of them with one limb. With the washerman, Dhobi, he just used his hand. He just did like this, the head came off. Because Krishna can do it. But Sita, Radharani was there. Srimati Radharani actually looked at Krishna and said, what is this? You said actually you will not kill anyone. Again you have started killing anyone. Killing is your nature. And Krishna said, Are, you are not hearing my lectures. You are not hearing me properly. I said I will not touch weapons. I never said I will not kill people or asuras. I am Dharma Rakshata. I have to actually protect Dharma. So you did not hear properly. I only said I will not touch weapons, which is I have fulfilled that promise. Srimati Radharani felt very concerned. He said, after all, even the asuras are Krishna's creation. This is not going to work. If Krishna actually is going to do something, he will definitely kill. I need to get into the heart of Krishna. Only then his killing will stop. That's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. Srimati Radharani becomes the heart of Krishna. And she, being the eternal mother, she doesn't want to kill anybody. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Did not kill anyone, but he killed all the sinful tendencies, the tendency to commit sinful activities that he created, that he killed. Okay? The tendency to enjoy sense gratification, he wiped that out. So this, no other incarnation did. Because it's very easy, you have a group of 10 people, 2 people actually are really crazy. What is the easiest way to protect the group? Send the 2 people out. Don't, 2 people are crazy, so send them out. But that's not what Lord Chaitanya did. He connected the 2 people. Worst who were like Jagai and Madai, he changed them. He changed them to become devotees of Krishna who were crying for Krishna. Right? So you can understand how fortunate we are that Srila Prabhupada actually has given this information for Lord Chaitanya, how to worship Lord Chaitanya, because none of us in our own normal so-called Hinduism had any clue about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today is actually the new year. It's called Gaura Buddha. Buddha means beginning, right? So today is 522, right? 522. Anyone remembers? Oh, no one remembers. Okay, no problem. 536. 1486. So 22 plus 14, so it should be 536. 536 year. So whenever there's a new year, generally what people do, people actually beg for forgiveness for whatever wrong they have done in the previous years and start with a new resolution. So we should be very, very grateful to all the acharyas, our spiritual masters. They have given their lives just to actually continue ISKCON. You see, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, what all they have done to make us come to this level, giving this Prabhupada's purport, all the acharyas. So we should be grateful to them. Showing gratitude to them is very, very important. and Srila Prabhupada has taught us all these things, given this in the sage, and all these acharyas are given that. So today is a day we need to actually pray and then be grateful to all these great Vaishnavas in ISKCON and even our own Vaishnava communities who are helping us to follow Krishna consciousness nicely. So this is one step of Lord Chaitanya, what he gave, right? He gave something which is unimaginable. He removed all the tendency to enjoy sense gratification. Next level, what he gives, Anadi Rajan Govinda is supreme. But here Lord Chaitanya is saying that Supreme Lord has no power. Krishna in the form of Tanay, like that is kid. That form of the Lord is very, very nice. Like, just like the Damodar form. That is what Krishna worshipped, saying, let Lord Chaitanya worship that such a form, so wonderful that he worshipped that form where there is no power. Right? The gopis did not see Krishna that, oh, Krishna is actually the supreme person of God, so I worship him. No, he removed all these powers, no powers. He'll only play, dance. Jai Jagannath, Jai Shri Gaura. So that kind of a form is Lord Chaitanya worshipping. I think that this is something it's very difficult for an ordinary person to understand. How can someone worship a coward boy? But this is what Krishna is all about. And in fact, Krishna wanted to really expand his pastimes. He wanted to play, right? Playing. Actually, only in Kali Yuga, actually, people play alone with their video games. Krishna wanted to play. That is why he expanded. Eko Bahusham, right? He became many just to increase his leela. But somehow in Kali Yuga, people can play alone with their own. Otherwise, normally people play. I mean, anyone plays with others. Hey, Krishna expands, and then he wanted to enjoy so many leelas. That is why he is also called Akila Rasamrita Murti. He actually is like so much of nectar is there, and he wants to actually reciprocate with his devotees so much. Now, he didn't actually stop there. He said, even that is not sufficient. He went one level up. No acharya has given, no incarnations have given this. Lord Chaitanya went to explain the Viraha Bhav, that is separation. So much of focus in something that you have lost. What is this? For example, to understand this, what do I say? For initiated devotees, the bead bag is the most important. Bead bag. Imagine actually you are in a Rath Yatra or this kind of festival and you lose your bead bag. Right? What will be your focus? Even if somebody says like evening there's going to be rasamai or or pav bhaji, whatever it is today's anukalpa prasadam, so non-grain. Still, your mind will be focused on what? Feedback. Or for general people, smartphone. Your phone is lost. What do you think actually? Yeah, my phone is gone. Whatever is there, if somebody say, hey, chalo, we'll go for Sankirtan, Nagar Sankirtan. Hey, there's actually some drama going on. Let's go and play. Yeah, wait. Hey, you like all these things? Hey, wait. What happened? Smartphone will gaya. I mean, I lost my smartphone. What do you think? Right? So you see the focus. This is a Kali Yuga example. I don't know what else to give. So that is the focus. Viraha Bhav. That is the gopis actually are completely in a mood that is in separation. Lord Chaitanya actually gave this knowledge that you can worship Krishna in separation. That's what actually gives. So bhakti in the basic level is everyone can follow from Bhagavad Gita. But Lord Chaitanya came here to actually teach us something much more. What is that? We'll see. For us to go from Kanishta Adhikari level to the next level, which is Madhyam Adhikari, there are 3 steps one has to overcome. Lord Chaitanya showed how to overcome these 3 steps. The first one is overcoming resistance to bhakti. It's very important. If you can understand this and meditate on this and ask Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to help us overcome this. We all know it. What I'm talking is not actually new, but we can think what it is. Overcoming resistance on bhakti. I will talk about how Lord Chaitanya taught this with Gadadhar Pandit. The second thing is offering assistance or service to Lord Krishna and his devotees. These 2 things, right? This has to be there. That is, we should start offering assistance to the Lord and the devotees. And the third one is kind of obtaining steadiness in Krishna consciousness. In spite of difficulties, in spite of happiness, distress, how do you maintain this stability in Krishna consciousness? So this is a very important thing. These 3 you do, then you come to the Madhyama Adhikari stage. All of us can become to Madhyama Adhikari stage. Otherwise, we remain Kanishta Adhikari. If you say Anadi Radhil Govinda level, that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, I am his servant, that's Kanishta, as per Lord Chaitanya. So let us see how it works. So you all know in Puri, Gadadhar Pandit was very close to Lord Chaitanya. And when Lord Chaitanya was leaving Puri and going to either Bengal or Vrindavan, Gadadhar Pandit wanted to join him. Gadadhar Pandit was given Kshetra Sannyas. Kshetra Sannyas means you cannot leave the place. You stay there and serve. But Gadadhar Pandit was so attracted to Lord Chaitanya that he said, I cannot leave you. If you're going, I'll also come. Lord Chaitanya told Gadadhar Pandit, no, you cannot come. I'm going because if I take you and go, people will actually blame me. So Gadadhar Pandit thought of many ideas of how to defeat Lord Chaitanya in this. He was argumentative. Right? How was he argumentative? He said, you go in one route, I will take another path and come. We will meet in Bengal. So when we meet again, I can see you. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you stay here and serve Gopinath. And what did Gadadhar Pandit say? He says, being with you and serving you personally, it's like serving million times Gopinath. So I will come. He said, no. He became very grave. Mahaprabhu became very grave. Mahaprabhu said, for every devotee, there are only 2 assets. Assets means wealth. One, the vow, what we actually take during initiation or in front of the Lord. Second, the austerities, or sorry, the service that we have for the Lord. Whatever service we have taken. So Mahaprabhu said these 2 things a devotee should never leave, even if you're going to get association of Krishna or Guru. Please do not actually, because this is very important for the devotee to come to the stage of Madhyama Adhikari. Otherwise, they will remain in Kanishta stage. So this was somewhat, Gadadhar Pandit tried every possible thing to tell Lord Chaitanya that I want to come to be with you. Now, Lord Chaitanya said something, said, if you leave these two assets, your asset is service to Gopinath, number one, and your vow is Kshetra Sannyas, you have to be here. If you leave this, you don't have anything as an asset. So I will not be pleased. So finally he told Gadadhar Pandit to go back to Puri and stay there. That's what Gadadhar Pandit did. So Krishna Kaviraj Goswami mentions that the devotees were ready to give everything for being with Lord Chaitanya. Just to be with Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya is very attractive, and being with Krishna, who doesn't want? He's very attractive. His form is so attractive that no one wants to actually just to get darshan. They were very ready to let go of the service also. The Lord said, he made a very, very important point here. The Lord Chaitanya did not accept this proposal, and he told that please don't try this. If you are leaving your service without authorities' permission and trying to go closer to Krishna, it is not going to please Krishna at all. So for your eternal auspiciousness, please follow these two things. One is the service to the Lord, whatever you are committed to, and the vows that you actually have taken. These two are very important. Because how Lord Chaitanya proved this point is very important. He said, in general, the conditioned souls are rebellious to the plan of the Lord. Because the Lord's plan is to take all of us back to Godhead. That's the Lord's plan. But no one wants to actually do this. So it becomes very difficult for the Lord to actually fulfill his desires if the devotees rebel. That is why the devotees should not do that. So one should simply try to follow the plans of the Lord. Now by doing this, how do you actually overcome this resistance to bhakti? What is resistance to bhakti? We define what bhakti is. I want to do something, that is why that is very important. I want to attend Mangalarati, so I will not actually do some other seva which is given to me. That's actually not good for our progress. That way we should actually take guidance from our authorities. So Mahaprabhu mentions, or Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions this, that one can actually overcome bhakti or resistance to bhakti by following the principles of Vaishnava seva. It's very important because there are various points that the acharyas have written on this. Because if you don't overcome this resistance to bhakti, you cannot make progress beyond a particular limit. You can't come to the Madhyamadhikari stage, they say. You can do everything, you can do even preaching, you can do everything, all the activities, but it will not take you to the second level, which is Madhyamadhikari. Now, there is a very interesting thing, because this argumentative nature is so deeply rooted for us, because we use Shastras to even prove it. So one time, Srila Prabhupada wanted to make a devotee a temple president. So this devotee planned every possible thing to argue with Prabhupada. I should not actually, he prepared and came. So Prabhupada called him, come, let's talk. So this devotee came prepared that if Prabhupada asks me this, I will do this. If he says this, he will say that. He planned and came. So as soon as he came, Prabhupada saw him and he knew that he's going to ask him to be a temple president. He said no. Prabhupada said, Prabhu, you should take sannyas. He was shocked. Said, sannyas, I'm just now married. Said, that's okay. You can take sannyas. I will give you sannyas. Said, I have a small son. I need to take care of him. Depend on Krishna. Krishna will actually protect your family. You can still take sannyas. So he tried everything like this, and Prabhupada gave, depend on Krishna. Krishna will protect you. Your family will be taken care of. So why are you actually worrying with this? So he didn't plan for this. He said, Prabhupada, you give me anything else, but don't give me sannyas. I can't take sannyas. Prabhupada said, become the temple president. He didn't have an option. See how the acharyas actually make sure the rebellious attitude of the devotee is actually broken. That is why it's very important we follow an expert authority can do this for us. That is why we need to have this. If we don't have it, we will not get to the next level. Because the Acharya wants us. Remember, Krishna in the spiritual world is highly whimsical. We have heard only one portion of Krishna, but there is extremely whimsical. The gopis are able to adapt to it. And if we keep fighting, Krishna says, okay, give an example in the material world. Imagine actually you have planned that I'm going for Mangalarati and then prepare and come. You come here, you're not allowed to come inside for whatever reason. We'll get hurt, right? You'll get hurt. Or for that matter, you are prepared for a class and you're not allowed to give a class. Or you've gone for a preaching, prepared everything for a Pandal program, and they say, no, you can't give class. This is something very difficult for us to take. Sometimes we are prepared for something, we are going to do something, or you come early morning that I'm going to do DD Seva, and they say, no, we already have many people. You don't have service today. You feel hurt. But understand Krishna's plan. This is how he trains us. One should not revolt. Just accept Krishna's mercy and then keep moving on it. So this is what Lord Chaitanya taught. No other incarnation taught this, no other acharyas taught this. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas teach it like this. Very important aspect of it. So this is the rebellious attitude. If it is removed, you'll make progress in Bhakti. Otherwise, Bhakti will be stuck. We may be attending Mangalarati, but will not get this higher level of realizations. So there are three things which actually are kind of a trap for the conditioned soul to get to the next level. What are these three? False argument tendency to argue. Using Shastra only will argue. But this is there, number one. Number two, false pride. That I'm doing this, I'm the only one who doing this seva, or I'm the only one who's qualified to do this. That kind of an attitude is very dangerous. And third is lack of discrimination. Aviveka. That is, we don't really discriminate where we have to discriminate. But generally we'll discriminate everything according to our intelligence. So Chakravarti mentions that by serving lotus feet of the devotees and following the will of the Vaishnavas, gradually this tendency to rebel or argumentative, all these things can be overcome. Says why? Because the devotees will tell you to do something which is not to your liking. Many times it happens, but we should do it understanding that it's Lord Chaitanya's will, it's Krishna's will that is asking me to do it. Take it and do it. If he's your authority, yes. But if somebody else comes and tells you something like that, but at least hear, be attentive. It's very important, because otherwise we will define what Bhakti is. We will not actually be able to see Bhakti from what it is supposed to be. So without association of devotees, this will not actually take us anywhere, even if you chant Hare Krishna for many, many years. You have to make a plan to live with devotees. Otherwise, this will not come, is what Chakravarti says. So, unless one overcomes a resistance to one's own plan and desires for Bhakti, one cannot make progress in Bhakti. This is the first one. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also has written a lot of these things on how to overcome, practically speaking. So these are very good for us to remember, because today is Lord Chaitanya's Experience Day. By hearing all these things and cultivating our mindset, kind of a resolution for the new year, really helps us. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, easy way of overcoming these things. He says 5 things he gives to develop, or 4 things he gives for us to actually overcome this argumentative mentality or resistance to progress in Bhakti. We are trying to progress in Bhakti, unknowingly we are resisting Bhakti. What are these 4 things? Says, you have to cultivate to see good qualities in others. You have to practically do it. Cultivate how to see good qualities in others. That's the first one. Second, have the faith that no one is a rogue eternally. You find someone who is actually a mad fellow, but don't think that anybody in this creation actually is a rogue eternally. All of them will change someday in their existence. Second, attitude. Sometimes we actually eternally, since it's recorded, I can't speak much, but sometimes we see the Islamic world, people are all crazy. Please don't think like that. Never ever think. If you think that, you can't progress in Bhakti. Understand Krishna's plan is happening. One has to overcome this. That is, no one is eternally a rogue. Third, learn to see Krishna's hand in every situation you are put in. Whatever may be the condition, always think that Krishna is putting me in this condition, this is the best for me. And fourth is develop an attitude of, or a positive attitude of being an optimist. Yes, Krishna has a plan for me, he will take me back to Godhead. And whatever I'm put, this is the best position I can be. Anecdotes, very interesting to see this. That means if you get a higher taste for serving Krishna, then you will do it naturally. Says the resistance to bhakti decreases when you understand that whatever happens in our life around us, everything is in Krishna's control. Krishna is taking care of everything. I'm simply an instrument. So this is the first step in progressing in bhakti. That Lord Chaitanya demonstrated with Gadadhar Pandit. How much time do we have? 10, 15 minutes. Okay. There. So second step, offering assistance to the Lord. So this is also very important. How can we serve the Lord? Because the Lord has everything. Why? How do we actually say that the Lord needs our help? In fact, with Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually did a few pastimes. Lord Chaitanya told Nityananda Prabhu, you go to Bengal and stay there. Don't come every time. Stay there and preach. He said, I am a sannyasi. I can't go house to house. I preach to the scholars who come to me. I'm able to convince them. But you can actually get married. You go into everyone's house and then make them all devotees. You can actually approach everybody. Because I can't do on my own. So this is actually the beauty of Krishna. It's a very, very nice thing to understand, because if you see the Ramayana or the Mahabharata, Lord Ram did everything, but he gave all the credit to Hanuman. And in the whole war of Mahabharata, he did everything. If you read the Mahabharata carefully, Krishna did everything, but he gives credit to Arjuna. Today, if somebody asks a question, who was the greatest warrior in Mahabharata? What people say Arjuna only. Because of Arjuna, that's why you have Arjuna award, right? So no one gives a Karna award or something like that. He is also powerful, but no one gives that. So, or a Duryodhana award. I used to wonder this, why people, when I heard this early, the people actually have this mentality, they keep the name Arjun, right? Sometimes they also keep the name Karan. No one keeps the name Duryodhana, some poor thing, right? Whatever it is. So, but it's good to know that Krishna's beauty is that he does everything, but gives credit to his devotees. That is the power of the parampara. Krishna says, when my devotees may be foolish, but if they serve me, I give them some kind of a nectar, which is called the inconceivable potency. This potency will destroy their inclination to enjoy sense gratification. They don't feel it's important for me. Sense gratification is important. That nectar is there only in Krishna's lotus feet. He will give it to us when we serve him as per the wish of our authorities. If you do independently Saiva, you don't get this. That's how the Acharyas are holding everything together. So they have all these nectars, but they won't give it to you unless until you actually follow that otherwise. So a very interesting thing that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given, that one should actually follow these portions. Because in the spiritual world, Krishna actually has what is Lord Chaitanya giving us, right? So Krishna actually has three different kinds of gopis. One is actually, they say, this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation, saying that Parama Preshta gopis, this is actually the top class gopis, like the Ashtasakis, right? So they are very, very dear to Krishna. That is one. Then there are 64 different Priya Sakis who are very friendly to Krishna. Whatever Krishna does, they support Krishna only, not Srimati Radharani. They are also special. Then there are Prana Sakis. These Prana Sakis are very, very, very special gopis. We can understand what Lord Chaitanya is giving us. So these Prana Sakis have only two desires. One, they are extremely determined to make Srimati Radharani happy. And somehow they want to bring Srimati Radharani to Krishna. Make them both become closer. This is first one. They are very determined, extremely determined. They want to try everything in their life. Second, they are very detached. They don't want even any sense gratification, no pleasure. They don't want any pleasure. They don't want even meet Krishna. This is very, very high level. These two moods are there for this Pranasaki gopis. And this is technically Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls as Radha Dasyam. They are sold out to Srimati Radharani. And this Radha Dasyam is what Lord Chaitanya came to distribute. Lord Chaitanya did not give us a position wherein you can be like a gopi to be with Krishna and dance with Krishna. No. He gave this position of Pranasakis, that if we serve Srimati Radharani through the parampara, how one to be determined how to make Srimati Radharani happy and bring her to Krishna. Second thing is, no sense gratification, no personal desires, whatever may be. Even if the personal desire is to be with Krishna, or I want to do this, I want to serve Bhakti, or I want to serve Krishna in a particular way, I want to serve Guru in a particular way. No. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Guru tells us what has to be done. Like Lord Chaitanya told Radha Pandit what has to be done, so we accept that and do it. In that way, you will make very, very fast progress, he says. Service without any selfish motive. So, without any qualification, Lord Chaitanya gave this. So in the Krishna conscious movement, we should understand that Lord is doing everything. It will happen as per the will of the Lord. All of us can go back to God. It's the will of the Lord. But He has a plan for each one of us. We have to accommodate that plan and keep going. Because Jiva, all of us, the conditioned souls are actually very, very insignificant. How can the insignificant Jiva make their own sadhana, their own practice, then go back to God? It's not possible. We need the Lord's mercy. The Lord's mercy will come provided we follow this process. These are like, it's all given for not newcomers. These are those who are fixed in Kanishta Adhikari level, but not able to make to the next level. Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions these things that one should practice this way and you can actually make progress. He gives, whenever we are hearing lectures or any seva, remember in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. What is the shloka? Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Dadami Buddhiyogam Yenamam Upyanjite. So, Krishna is expecting us to serve Him with Priti Purvakam. Whatever seva we do, we should actually do it in a very loving way. Hearing lecture, I have to do it in a loving way. I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I have to do it in a loving way. Very difficult sometimes. We do service because sometimes we are forced to do it. Nobody else is there. They also have to do it. But he's saying when you do it with Priti Purvakam, then Dadami Buddhi Yogam, then I will give you the intelligence to come back to you. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, no means I'm telling no. Because in the sloka it is not there. He only seeing the positive side of it. So this is a very interesting thing for us. Because the attraction to the Lord is what which actually creates wonder. That is why even the same Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions, what is the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita? What is the first one? Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam. So one has to hear more and more about Krishna. Then what happens? Because of the opulence, you will start getting attracted to worship him, to be with him. By doing that, one actually makes progress. What is the progress they make? They start getting the loving attraction for the Lord. Hearing the Lord, about the Lord, fasting for the Lord, with love and gratitude, and you can make sacrifice very easily. How did our spiritual masters all make this sacrifice? Because they had this love for Prabhupada. They had so much of love for Prabhupada that they were ready to sacrifice anything, their personal inconveniences. Prabhupada was demanding. Prabhupada used to call and ask devotees to do this, do that. One time there was a devotee who used to actually, whenever Prabhupada comes for morning walk, he used to actually stand there and then glorify Prabhupada, like Sankirtana, Samrat, and things like that. Something he used to actually cook up and then say very nicely. And Prabhupada saw all these things and then used to just ignore and keep going. Someday actually he saw that when Prabhupada said, do something practical. Don't have to glorify me, do something. And Prabhupada in one of the temples in the US saw that there were a lot of leaves, right? The leaf, just dried leaves in the garden. Prabhupada said, like everywhere in the US actually I see garden, very clean, grass on the sides. Why in our temple alone so much of dirt is there? He said, do something practically. Do it without of love. Because Prabhupada said, anything which is impractical, he would never accept it. Right? The more and more we create this love for the Lord, that will actually make us sacrifice the comforts in life. Because if you don't have love for the Lord, sacrificing your personal comfort is very difficult. It's not possible. Because the love and emotion within the heart of the devotee is what allows them to follow these instructions very easily. Otherwise, the instructions to follow all these things all through the life is very difficult. I remember in 2001 when I got initiated, we were about 18 people who got initiated on this time. I see only 16 people. The remaining 2 I don't know. And even the 16, maybe about 8 or 9 are not chanting Hare Krishna. It's not easy to chant Hare Krishna all through your life. Situations will come wherein you'll be forced, because of your past karma or association, that you will be forced to decide you want Krishna or something else. Personal comfort or Krishna consciousness. One of the acharyas mentioned, I don't remember who, I think Jiva Goswami in his Sandarbha mentioned, in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, or the first time when actually the Pandavas are there, problem only is explained. Draupadi's problem, Kunti Maharani's problem, then Uttara's problem, all these things only is explained. I think full Bhagavatam is all nectarian, only problem is explained here. What Krishna is telling is, this is how it will be, life is. You want me still? Then you will continue reading. There will be a lot of problems. Beginning itself, trailer itself is problem only. All problems is giving. If you want the nectar which is about Radha and Krishna pastime, all these things, finish all these things, come to that level. Don't think that everything will be cool. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. When we start chanting Hare Krishna, right? And I remember 4 rounds I was chanting, I was getting everything. I was getting a seat in the bus suddenly. And for no way, actually, someone came and gave me a phone. Like, I want to give a phone. And when I was chanting 16 rounds, everything was going out. Nothing was coming to me. I was thinking, what is happening over? Right? Because we always see the Lord as an order carrier, right? I'm asking for something, so you keep giving me. That's actually very low level, right? Which is not bad. Some Vaishnavas actually are in that level. They depend everything for Krishna, because Krishna himself mentions that. That's Chaturvida Bhajante Mam, right? So he gives that, but that's not actually high class bhakti. One has to overcome to the next level. Right? The next level is, don't keep demanding. Understand Krishna has his own pastimes. Krishna has his own life. His life is not just to fulfill your desires. that I need this, I need that, then we start understanding, okay, that means I am supposed to serve him. I am created for his service. That means I need to let go of my own desires for fulfilling Krishna's desires. The more we do sacrificing, look at Lord Chaitanya himself. He performed this. Which incarnation of Krishna actually accepted so much of austerities? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually took sannyas. Why did he take sannyas? To make the entire world happy. Because he knew people not respecting him. And if they don't respect him, how will they get delivered? So Krishna, you can see, Krishna is, what is that we sing in the morning? Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrahma Sevyamanam, the Brahma Smita prayer says, right? So many Lakshmis are serving Krishna, and Krishna is very opulent. And here, Lord Chaitanya actually took so much of difficulty. Lying down on, dry mattress, which is dried leaves. And whenever you used to lie down on that, it will prick. And when he wakes up in the morning, there will be blood at the back. How many of us can sleep in that kind of condition? Very difficult. Grasa would never actually think, brahmacharis can do it, I will not do it. What, they are also human beings. Right? But you can see how much of difficulty that Lord Chaitanya took for whose reason? For to make us happy. He was very strict because sannyasi was very strict on how to be so that one doesn't find fault. Because if you find fault with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then where is the scope for us to get delivered? So he took that just to make the entire world happy. That was his only focus, how to make everyone happy. So we can understand that Lord Chaitanya showed how one has to sacrifice his own personal discomfort for making Krishna happy. Right? So we can meditate on the Lord. At least we are hearing all these things from the Acharyas. Today Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. You can ask Lord Chaitanya, please, I don't know all these things. So many things are there. When he came in, it was like a HR interview. The beginning, you join the company, you have all the color things, they give you goodies, they give you a bag, everything. After you become an employee, you all know what it is, right? So nothing is there. It's like, this is also the same kind of problem, right? So in Krishna consciousness, when you come in, Prabhupada used to call it as Bhakta boost. You know, you get everything suddenly. After that, Krishna will say, okay, you have to work hard for it, otherwise you won't get it. You won't get this nectar again. So we struggle hard to get that and not let it go, right? Prabhupada followed some few principles in Krishna consciousness, which we can also follow. If you do that, then this loving attitude towards all of them will naturally come. What did Prabhupada do? 5 things he actually had in his mind, and he used it in ISKCON. One is he appreciated all devotees. Appreciating all devotees is natural for him. He would actually appreciate everyone publicly and correct only those who are not in the right path, right? Second, he recognized excellence. If somebody is actually distributing too many books, Prabhupada used to actually recognize them. You are the book distribution avatar incarnation, right? Book distribution incarnation, or you actually are he used to, like, when devotees used to construct temple, he used to say, you are the incarnation of temple construction. Like this, he used to actually appreciate people. And third was, he was very enthusiastic. At this age, with so much of difficulties, he would say, this is all we can do. Can't preach more than this. No. He would actually be very enthusiastic to give more and more opportunities. He would drive people to preach and make more devotees. Never would he take anything less. Whenever devotees used to come and say, we distributed, say, 2 million books, Prabhupada said, double it. Double it, right? So sometimes when you do for book distribution, our dear Krishna Prabhu always takes that nice seva, giving us a task. And whenever he uses a number, I said, like, last year what we did was half of what this is, and he's giving double of this. How is it possible? But it's possible because, as it says, if we have the faith that it's possible, Krishna will actually make it happen. Many times we think that, but unless someone reminds us again and again, it's very difficult to follow. Prabhupada was very enthusiastic. Fourth was very humble. Very humble Prabhupada was. In spite of being a world acharya, he never claimed himself as world acharya. One time he was giving a class, Stanford, and he was talking about the 4 classes of men. Maybe knowing this, Prabhupada It's an amazing thing. 4 classes are like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, he said. And Brahmanas are top class because they are the intellectual of the society. They guide the rest of the society and things like that. And when one of the person in the audience asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, of these 4 classes, what are you? It's a very loaded question. In the sense, it's very difficult to answer. If you don't know what is the answer, imagine your first time hearing this. It's very difficult. What do I say? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Or yeah, so if you say Brahmana, then you say you are boasting yourself. Right? You are telling everyone else what to do, that means you are boasting yourself. Prabhupada actually closed his eyes and there was tears. There I mentioned that there was tears in his eyes. He said, I am not any of these 4. I am actually the servant of these 4. As a Vaishnava, I am servant of these 4. So he was very humble. He never actually took any credit. And whenever somebody glorified him, he said, it's because of my spiritual master that is happening. So we have to remind ourselves all these things. Otherwise, this pratishta or what do you call pride comes very easily for us. As we progress in spiritual life, especially if you are doing some very good seva, things like that, it will come naturally. I have been chosen by the Lord to do this seva. That will come. And when it comes, then Krishna knows. In fact, when Srimati Radharani had this desire that I am the special gopi, that Krishna is spending time with me during the Ras Leela, you all know that in the 10th canto it's mentioned that when Krishna was actually dancing with the gopis, suddenly he disappeared. He was not there. And all the gopis were looking where they are. And Krishna was with Radharani. And Srimati Radharani felt, of course, it's a transcendental pastime. We can't actually comment on these things, but Acharya has mentioned that Srimati Radharani felt that I'm so special, that's why Krishna is with me. And she started asking Krishna some favors. And Krishna disappeared from there also. Right? Krishna doesn't like any pride. So we have to be very careful. We have to remind all these things again and again. Then it becomes easy. So we can pray to the Lord, please give us these blessings. Freedom for people to think on how to make more devotees. He did not say, oh, this is not allowed by the Acharya, so don't do it. No. He said, try. There are so many examples in the Leelamrita also in other places about Prabhupada. Remember one such pastime and in Vrindavan, when the devotees were actually doing yajna, right? In the inauguration, the devotees sat and then started making yajna. So their pronunciation was very bad, right? So the local brahmanas and the others came and told Prabhupada, what they are doing is not okay. So Prabhupada was very tolerant. Prabhupada actually responded back, their pronunciation may be wrong, but their renunciation is okay. They were renounced. They were actually really given up everything for Krishna's sake. They had never lived, the Westerners had never lived in a place where running water was not there. And here they had buckets. In one of the books, Sachidananda Maharaj mentions, those days in Germany, there was no water in the temple for taking bath. They had to take a bucket, go outside, gather that ice, snow. That was what's there. And they used to bring it, the snow used to melt inside. And whatever is melted, that is the water they used to take early morning and come for Mangalarati. Can you imagine what kind of life that was? And no wonder these sannyasis actually are great spiritual masters today. Austerities they have taken for serving Guru and Gauranga. Because Prabhupada said, you stay there and preach. That was the only thing. It's very easy to go, but they did not leave. So amazing if you hear all this passion about how Prabhupada handled this. But Prabhupada tolerated the mistakes. Whenever Prabhupada saw that devotees were making mistakes, he tolerated them. Still encouraged them. He was always encouraging the devotees that they will start now. Jayananda Prabhu was given first initiation, second initiation, Brahman initiation. You all know Jayananda Prabhu, right? He was actually the main person behind the Yatra in ISKCON. So this Jayananda Prabhu, when he took second initiation, Prabhupada gave the mantra and he chanted back to Prabhupada. Prabhupada started laughing. So because they don't know how to pronounce this mantra, right? It can mean something else. People pronounce it in a wrong way, but Prabhupada accepted them. Because Prabhupada accepted them, the Acharyas would actually accept them. Right? But Prabhupada never gave up, he always encouraged. So we can also not say that this devotee is hopeless, he will never actually rectify himself. Don't say that, because there are some devotees, because of lack of association or lack of attraction to the Lord, they may be breaking the principles regularly. But that doesn't mean that they are bad. It's just that they are in a tough situation. So we should not take association and then we also should do the same thing. No. But somehow encourage them so that they can become more closer to Krishna. This is what Prabhupada did. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been the case for others to follow. Anyway, so this is the second one. What is that? Helping. Nityananda Prabhu actually stayed there in Bengal and preached the message of Lord Chaitanya and made so many devotees. Right? The third one is actually stability. I don't know how much time we have, maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So stability in Krishna consciousness is very important. How does he do the stability? He uses Raghunath Das Goswami to show this. Because Raghunath Das Goswami's desire to be with Lord Chaitanya is so fierce, but every time he used to run away from his home, he was very rich. Every time he used to run away from home, he was pulled back. How can you actually have a situation like that wherein you are not able to associate with devotees at all? You are in a condition wherein the family is not supportive at all. How can you think of actually associating with Krishna in this lifetime? You think you'll have hope? Very difficult. Raghunath Das Goswami had the same condition, that he was not able to actually get at all. Some of us are very fortunate that we are able to stay close to the temple and attend programs. There are many people who can't do that. What is the hope for them? Lord Chaitanya gave the hope for them. He showed it through the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, because Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to be with Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's mentioned, in Kaviraj Goswami mentioned, in the lecture of devotion, Rupa Goswami mentioned, we need two things, like Utsaha and we need enthusiasm and patience. Both are required for us to make progress in Krishna consciousness. Because if you have Utsaha, enthusiasm, and you don't have patience, then you'll be influenced by the mode of passion a lot. You want to do a lot of things, but deep within you'll feel that I am only doing this, because there's no patience there. But if you have patience, but no Utsaha, like someday it will happen, and like, someday it will happen, but I won't do anything, then you're in mode of ignorance. You're not doing anything, right? One time Prabhupada actually called a sannyasi who was actually resting in the afternoon, right? He saw the sannyasi and then he kicked him. He kicked the sannyasi and said, "You are worse than a prostitute." Shocked actually, that the word, when he heard prostitute, sannyasi again compared to prostitute, he woke up and said, "Prabhupada, how can he compare me as a prostitute?" He said, "Yeah, a prostitute at least in the mode of passion, enjoying senses. You are sleeping, you are in tamoguna. You are worse than, you are in ignorance." So, of course, these are special pastime that Prabhupada would do. Just to, it's like, we should not actually find, oh, that's sannyasi, yeah, tell me the name, I will go. No. Not, for us, it's like they actually have been put into condition to teach us what is very important. So, Raghunath Das Goswami went and met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya said, "It's not a time for you to come. When time comes, you will come." And Raghunath Das Goswami was very disappointed, saying that, how? Lord Chaitanya said, "When I go to Vrindavan and come back, you will come. Have full faith in this." And Raghunath Das Goswami was feeling very disappointed, saying that, "My heart has no hope. Why? Because I'm surrounded by these guards. They are not going to allow me anywhere. I have a wife, I have my father, mother, I have my business. How will I leave all these things come? I have no interest here." Mahaprabhu said, "Have patience and be enthusiastic. Stay like that and have faith. When Krishna decides you to come, he will create all opportunities. He create an opportunity. He will also give you the inspiration that I need to do this. And when he gives the inspiration, no one can actually control you. You will come. Have faith." But what happened? It was not happening. So what did he do? What extra thing that did Raghunath Das Goswami do? That may Lord Chaitanya or Krishna hurry up this process of surrender. Yes, he took shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. How? Panihati. He went and fell at the feet of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Of course, he was not approaching him. That is why Kavya Goswami mentioned one should never approach Gauranga Prabhu or Nityananda Prabhu or others alone. Panchatattva together. Always Panchatattva together, because they are all a single unit. They do the same thing. Deliver everyone back to Krishna. So, he gave this thing that stay there. And Nityananda, what did he do? Nityananda told, since you are going to Lord Chaitanya directly, you are not going to get mercy. So you have come to me, now everything is started. Now you have to serve the Vaishnavas and take their blessings. If you serve the Vaishnavas, and the Vaishnavas, he said, may you progress in your goal towards Krishna, then Krishna agrees. Yes, this fellow is actually making progress. That is why if you want to make progress faster in spiritual life, Vaishnava Seva is very, very, very important. Very important. Service and Vaishnava Seva, both are important. Then you can understand, once that happened, Lord Chaitanya came back to Bengal, Jagannath Puri, and Raghunath Goswami escaped somehow. I'm not going to touch on the past time, but escaped. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually mentions, how do you get this stability in devotional service? He gives 5 steps one should actually try to follow. First one, not aspire for happiness. Don't look for happiness in Krishna consciousness or chanting Hare Krishna or anything for that matter. Don't look for happiness. If you look for happiness, you will get only material happiness in the material world. All of us want happiness, no? But he says in the material world, don't look for that. Second, don't regret distress. If you're getting distressed, you're feeling sad, don't feel distressed. Third, be satisfied with whatever position Krishna has put you in. This repeats in multiple places. Every Acharya says this. Krishna knows what condition you are in. This condition, what you are in right now, is the best condition possible because of Krishna's mercy. Don't think that if I'm getting married, it will be better for the youth. Or somebody who is married thinks that someday I need to let go of this family and run away. Don't plan anything like this. Just depend on the Lord and do seva as much as possible. So be satisfied with whatever is your position given by Krishna. Fourth, follow bhakti with enthusiasm. Don't think about, okay, today also I have to chant 16 rounds. Sometimes I used to do that and get up in the evening. Why did the day end? I had finished 16 rounds yesterday. Right? So don't think like that kind of thing, right? Because we have to do the same activities again and again. Raghunath Goswami did the same thing. Be internally said, Lord Chaitanya. Externally, maybe with all rich people, but internally think that Krishna will give me mercy. I will go back to Krishna. So cultivate that mood set, that mindset. Last one is tolerate happiness and distress while executing devotion. When you are serving the Lord, sometimes you'll feel happy, sometimes you'll feel sad, but tolerate happiness and distress. By doing this, you will very easily come to a platform of stability. That means this is Nishtha stage. You will not be disturbed at all, because I've heard many of Srila Prabhupada disciples, many disciples, at one point in time in their life, they will stop chanting 16 rounds. You hear many people saying that there was one time where I was thrown out of a temple for whatever reason, and after that I couldn't even stay in any house. I used to live in bunkers in the railway station or some places which are very difficult to stay for people. We lived like that, so I couldn't chant any rounds. Can happen, but one has to actually understand Krishna as a plan, because we don't have our karma. Our karma will come and hit us someday. Don't think everything will be colorful like this. Life will be very nice, right? Things will become ups and downs. There will be ups and downs. Just depend on the Lord. And this is the last one that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned: that tolerate happiness and distress while executing devotion. Devotional service, when you are doing, don't expect any happiness, and if there are happiness coming or distress coming, don't get agitated. Just understand, my Lord, if you are happy, I'm happy. That kind of mindset. Because otherwise when you're chanting Hare Krishna, we look for happiness. I'm not getting any taste for chanting Hare Krishna. All these things will actually disturb us. So these are the 5 things he says. If you do this, then stability will automatically follow, and you will not be, after a very few months, he says, you'll become so detached to the material world that nothing actually excites you. Whatever was there, for example, some rasgulla or something, eating only comes to my mind nowadays because today's fasting now. So you like it so much. Do you like it more than Krishna? One time, one of my god brother, god sisters were getting initiated. One of them actually had a mustache before initiation, and another devotee actually mentioned that I cannot stop eating from outside. Sometimes this is the only thing I have. I have a desire to eat outside, different food. Long back, maybe 20 years back. So Guru Maharaj was actually asking them, are you more attached to this than Krishna? They couldn't answer that question at the point in time because they were really attached. So Guru Maharaj mentioned, only during that portion of eating outside food, I cannot do anything. If you die that time, you cannot go back to Gaura. You decide. I can't do anything because I'm powerless in that situation. So when the acharyas are given us the principles to follow, they have a reason for that. Right? They have a reason. So we should try to follow this. And today, being Lord Krishna's experience there, reminding myself that I need to pray to the Lord that give me the strength to come to this level of stability. Because after Nishtha, only Ruchi will come. All of us want Ruchi. Ruchi means taste in serving Krishna. Very difficult to get taste for Krishna. When you get up from Mangalarati and see the Lord and then chant Hare Krishna, looks like it's nice because devotees are very nice and things. But is this Ruchi? This is not Ruchi. Real Ruchi is something like the hairs will stand on end, crying like anything. All these things are mentioned in the Shastras. Like, where am I getting all these desires? Where am I getting this kind of so-called bliss? Sometimes when you actually go see in front of Radha Madhava or the deities, you go in front of the Lord and cry, you get some nectar. But it doesn't stay. Because we are not in the Ruchi platform. Ruchi will come only after Nishtha comes. This is what is Nishtha. One has to practice this. If you don't hear all these things and just simply serve the Lord, you will come to the same stage. Sevon Mukehi Jifado. It will come, but it will take a long time. And if you have intelligence, please understand this, get awareness, follow this in your life, then you'll be faster. You'll reach the goal faster. Because Krishna consciousness is not a first standard you do, second standard you do, third standard you do. No. You can go from first standard to PhD if you want. Because some of devotees ask Prabhupada, how many lifetimes does it take to obey Krishna? Within one moment, if you want to do it. There is lecture, right? Prabhupada mentions that one moment, you're not reading my books. Sarva dharma paitaja mamekam sharanam vaja. Sarva dharma means dharma. See, there are many attachments that we have, which we don't even know that we have attachment. We can see what we can see. What is not seen? How do you know what is there? Only Krishna will know. How to let go of all these attachments? Only Krishna can remove it. Right? So we practice these things, and today being Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, he is very merciful, more merciful today because of the appearance day. So give him a gift, ask for a return gift. Return gift is that seva to the Lord. Keep asking him, please somehow, I want to please my Guru Maharaj, I want to please Prabhupada, I want to please the Acharyas. Please use me as an insignificant instrument in whatever way. We make this prayer. These prayers actually are very powerful. It attracts the Lord. The Lord likes those who are very humble and meek. Prabhupada uses the word meek and humble. For them, the doors to the spiritual world are open. Right? That's in Bhagavad Gita itself. But many times you get puffed up. At least I get puffed up. I'm not able to be in the same level all the time. Why? Because we are not yet in the stage of stability. We need to practice this. When you hear this, yes, I should not aspire for happiness. I'm looking for happiness. Because if you go to material world, if you are in the office, they'll tell you whatever is there, ulta they'll tell you. Hey, you need to make a lot of money. You need to be the biggest guy in the office. What is you're not progressing? 15 years you are sitting and coding. No shame on you. There they tell me like this. Here I come, they tell me like this. There's no break for me in life, right? You'll run away and stay in some dam for some time and come back. Again, when you come back, the same problem, right? But have faith like Raghunath Das Goswami. Someday Krishna has a plan. He will actually execute his plan. Just wait for his mercy and practice these principles in life, right? Already taken too much of time. I'm sorry, really sorry about it. There are more examples that how Vishnu Thakur has written some explanation about how Lord Krishna does everything, right? How he enjoys everything after doing, still he gives the credit to somebody else, right? And when he gives the credit to somebody else, those devotees will get puffed up, right? He will remove that also. How does he do it? He's written so much of details. He's written. I don't think I've realized that so much. I've read it once, but how does it really work? I don't know. So I will not touch upon those points. But I just want to actually stop here and use this day for just being meditative on the Lord and be grateful to all the acharyas, our spiritual masters, the senior devotees. Like we have a great person like Radhesham Prabhu, Gauranga, Vidhan Gauranga, so many. Right? We hear from all these people, right? So we take we have to be grateful that thanks Krishna, thanks Prabhupada for getting all these people to us. If they had not actually come and shared all these things with us, it would have been very difficult for us to actually understand and relish this nectar that Krishna consciousness is all about. Right? So many wonderful acharyas have given commentary and Prabhupada has opened the door for us. So Prabhupada ki jai. Stop here. Gaura Purnima Mahamahotsav ki jai. No questions. If anybody has questions. I'm really sorry, Prabhu. When I'm talking completely forgot that I'm supposed to speak in Hindi. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, everything is controlled by God. And okay. How many rounds of Hare Krishna do you chant? Trying to understand. You're coming for the first time? Okay. The question is, if Krishna controls everything, what is that we actually are supposed to do? Between the free will that we have, that I want to be with Krishna, I want to do what Krishna wants, is actually the main qualification. Many a times we want to actually do what we want to do. Even in Bhakti, we actually try to do the same thing. I want to chant this point in time because I want to chant. But the Acharya say if you chant in the Brahma Muhurta time, it's actually very auspicious. It's very good for you. For a long-term benefit, this is actually recommended. Like this, for everything actually they have given us a program. If you try to follow that program in our life, then we'll actually make progress. Krishna does everything, definitely. But are we willing to do it? For example, imagine there is actually you go to a salon, giving example, where you can get your hair trimmed or nails cut, right? All these things. There are, giving a very crude example so that you can understand. But you have to come and sit now. Only if you sit, I can cut all hair and then do manicure and everything. Similarly, unless until we put ourselves in the service of the Lord, and Guru is telling us do this, if we don't put ourselves in the condition, how will the Guru actually purify us? How will Krishna actually purify us? Because the free will is there. I can come and sit here, I will not sit here. But if you sit here, then there will be some purification. Are we willing to take that? Is a question. And on these days, somehow because of the auspiciousness of appearance, so many people are actually chanting. When Lord Chaitanya appeared, the whole world was chanting, it says. Full of Bengal at least were chanting Krishna's names. Even the atheistic people, they also actually used to go into the river Ganges and say Hari, 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 they were chanting. Krishna and Prabhu actually spoke wonderfully sometime back, right? Like a speak about how Lord Chaitanya appeared. They were all chanting, even non-devotees were chanting. Right? So it creates a very atmosphere surcharged with power. So all the devotees actually went for Harinam Sankirtan. So it creates some vibration in the world. So on this appearance day, we can make these prayers that please help me make progress to the next level. Because otherwise, it's very difficult on our daily basis. One devotee told me, I don't follow it seriously, but long back he had told me, for all the grihasthas, at least on the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day and Krishna Janmashtami, please take the day off. Please don't actually say that I don't have time for Mangalarati, or I don't have time for attending Abhishekam because it's a working day. Nothing will happen without Krishna's permission. You can always create some situation and attend it. I never used advice that one senior Vaishnava told me when I came to Krishna consciousness long back. And I think we should try that. I mean, it's especially for grihasthas. Nothing will happen. Nothing. The world will not blow off. Everything happens because. So we should take that seriously. No school, nothing on the day Janmashtami becomes like Janmashtami. Or sorry, Gaur Purnima becomes like Janmashtami. That's a day. Persons ask me personally, can I be here around? Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada Jai. Evening program, little people, classes there. You can just
lessons on Chaitanya Leela and Radha Dasya, how to be servant of servant.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Schedule.
So today evening program, now 10:30 Homa is there. 4:15 we are starting. 4:15 to 4:45 Kirtan is there. 4:45 Abhishek starts. 6 o'clock class is there. In English, here in this hall, about the rejection will be giving Gauranga. Then Prasadam hall in Kannada it will happen. Then basement floor in Hindi it will happen. Anadi Jana will give. Kannada Sudama will give. And after that, we will have Gaura 6:45. 6 to 6:45 we will have class. 6:45 we will have Gaura. And 7:15 we will have our company president who wanted to introduce, because outside people they relay with all poisonous chemicals, they spoil our eyes also. So mercifully he has reminded us of new way. Plus that will be there for 10-15 minutes. Afterwards drama, because drama is very very powerful. Even Prabhupada has several times told. So our conduct for devotees and devotees, they will depict some of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. By seeing that, it will touch the heart. Many times, when we hear, we may be here, physically we may be here, or we may be wandering here and there. But when we see something, it touches our heart. So that will increase our faith in the process. Then afterwards, our very special So earlier we had 2 early, now it reduced one hour. Actually, reduce the timing by 45 minutes. 7:45 we are trying to break it. Even if somebody is very hungry, they can take Prasad. Otherwise, it's available. Juice or Prasad is available. But if you can fast, it's wonderful. So when you are there in the Asana devotee, you don't even feel like eating. Only when we are alone, that our brain will start working, isn't it? You cannot stay without Prasad like that. Then assisting devotees, you can go on reading, hearing, kirtan. We should fill our mind with such things. At least one day. Thank you very much, all devotees. Please try to come in time so that we can end in time. Thank you very much. Sorry.